Hello, and welcome to Cognitions, Speaking the Unspeakable with JP
and Stacy D.
I'm JP Craddock, and I am here with the one and only, the lovely Miss Stacy D. Love. She looked like she's going out on a date after the
it's a
show.
storm coming.
She's dressing for storms now. I don't know what that's about. But we broadcast on KUAW Radio, which stands for Knowledge, Understanding,
and Wisdom.
You can also catch us on Periscope, Twitch, TuneIn, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook.
And the FM dial.
What's that number on the FM dial? 100.5. There you go. All right. Okay, coming up on the show today. This is our final show, D.
I know. I'm like,
this is our farewell show.
It's like bittersweet.
It's bittersweet. How many years have we been doing the show? 5 years. And let me tell you, we didn't run out of material.
Never that.
There's still, I was like, this morning I was like, man, I wish we'd have covered this. And then I thought about something else like, oh man, we never covered that. Da-da-da-da. And so this is what we're going to do today. This is going to be a relaxed show. Me and the D, we got a right to chill, okay? We've been talking about paraphilias for the past 4 shows. Well, the D always chill. But, like, I'll be stressing, right? 4 weeks. If you didn't see it, and you want to know if you're sexually deviant, because you might be.
Or enjoys it.
Or you just enjoy yourself. You just having a good time. Check out our previous really 4 episodes on the paraphilias. And here's something interesting. A client. This has come up multiple times in therapy, but a client has started to date someone who's into, this is how they refer to it. They discuss their kink. We was talking about our kink. And
yeah,
let
me know. So somebody talk about a kink.
You need to learn. Like, you need to know the terms. No, D. If you out on a date, because the D's dating life is always good material for the show. If they say, "Look, let's talk about kink. Let's talk about your kink," they want to know what freaky business you're into. And so, this the person that he went out with was into erotic asphyxiation, which is choking, which we talked about on the show, but to the extent
that she blacks out
of needing to be choked until the blood vessels in her eyes pop. And there are bruises on her neck. And so, of course, he was disturbed. He was extremely...
And he should have blocked.
Right, well, he was... apparently... she kept giving the instructions. choke more, choke more, choke more. And he
Not
did.
give it to me more, give it to me more, give it to
Choke
me
me more, choke me more.
choke me more.
Right. And she was pleased. To her, this was a sign that he had done it right. That I wish we had a medical professional on the show, because I need to know, at what point do the blood vessels in your eyes pop? You are going without air for a while in order for that to happen.
And that's not good.
It can't be. And so he was disturbed because this isn't his kink. He's not into this particular kink.
But he got down and did it.
Well, he got down and did it because it's a new date. It's a new date, right? And so
do not choke me, because you're gonna feel
you
one
going
of
out with a new guy
bullets.
right now. Yeah, silver bullets. You going out with a new guy right now. Y'all need to discuss what each other's kink is, because you never know. He might have plans for your neck. We can't
even have the last show in peace, can we?
Because let me tell you.
That was the professor.
Oh, that was the professor. Okay.
I left the door
when the
open for
professor
him.
comes in here, I'm going to ask him what his kink is. Because we going to put his business out on the airwaves. We going out with a bang.
Okay, I'm going to let everybody know what my kink is. If
D,
you get in my
what's your
bed,
kink?
you have to be clean. I mean,
that's
you
not kinky.
It is a kink to me.
That's not kinky.
It is kinky. You can't come to my house and say, "Oh, I took a shower." No, you need to go in there so I can see and smell you took a shower.
Okay.
Then you can get in my bed.
After he's clean, what does he get to do to the D? That's the kink.
Anything that don't hurt and leave a score that I like.
Well, that leaves a lot of options. That leaves a lot of options. And so I was talking to him about, listen, you guys need to expand the repertoire of kink, because
kink,
quite possibly, she likes other kinky things, and you need to come up. For those of you who find yourself in a position where you are with somebody who's into something kinky that you're basically afraid of, keep discussing the kink, because usually people have a list of things that they enjoy doing, and you need to know, like, what the hell are the other options, because you done came out here with pink eye. I done gave you pink eye. I done choked you till you had pink. You got pink eye right damn now. At that point,
is not how you get pink eye.
It's time to no. It looked like pink eye. Her eyes it literally busted the blood vessels in her eyes. I wasn't exaggerating. Yes, it looked like pink eye. And so, as he was describing it, and so I was saying, you need to ask, what else is she into? Because usually there be some other kinky options that a person might be more open to that don't require them to become an abuser. Because here's the thing, for the sake of sex, you should not have to step outside of who you are as a person.
I agree.
If you are not a domestically violent person, you don't beat women, you don't choke women, you do not do these things, you should not have to portray even that character.
I agree.
In order to have a good freak session, right? Because there's always the risk that once you open certain doors, you're not going to be able to close them.
Pandora's box.
Once you into something, you into it. Now, fortunately, he sounded a little too traumatized. He's not into it. This falls up under the category, when we cover the paraphilias, this is under the S&M, the sadomasochism. This is what we talked about. But I was saying, see if there's other things that you can do that do not require you to walk away from the situation feeling like an abuser, because he did, and really he was.
He was.
And psychologically, she needs to look at, why does she need that? And he was saying that there is a history of abuse.
There it is.
And there it is. And so abuse has become,
so they used to fight,
has become
probably,
motive. Not him, because he
sex.
just started dating her.
The other one probably
Somebody was knocking the hell out of her.
Exactly. And then they would go have this
or
wild sex.
You know how people get into it and they start fighting and they just immediately start ripping each other's clothes off.
I seen that on TV. I can't
The-
imagine that. Because if you fight
when the
me,
D fights.
you fight me,
And the
you
D's
better
a
go
fighter.
somewhere else.
Oh, the D is a fighter. Let me tell you.
I'm gonna need you not to think you're gonna stay here in this same house with me, because it's
And
gonna be a problem. You need to go
Listen.
somewhere else.
And all the fights that the D had when we was young, she never ripped her clothes off in the middle of the high school and started
Nah.
riding somebody. It
Nah,
never
never
happened,
did
did
that.
it? You just was punching faces. And so, yes, it's like I can see that being very unsettling. And so, for those couples who have done that, go immediately from fighting to having sex, you can run the risk of these blending together
Yes.
and the physical part becoming a part of the adrenaline rush of the sex, because you have the adrenaline already flowing from the fight. And then all of a sudden y'all look at each other for a split second in the eyes and start ripping each other's damn clothes off. Well, that's more adrenaline. All that adrenaline and the release of those hormones, endorphins, it just mixes together.
Too much for me.
And then a person has to have all of it. So that's not the D's kink. But D, taking a shower, that's not kink. Okay?
It's as much kink as I'm gonna get. Sorry.
D, you got to check in.
Yes. Okay. So everybody know I had a
She
date,
dressed for a date.
but I'm not having a date because I had a malfunction this morning. So that was the next
Wardrobe
thing.
malfunction.
Well, wardrobe malfunction. So that's what I put on today. Okay. Anyway, you guys, do not go on a date to a lounge or a bar. That's not a good date.
Was it one of them smoking lounges
No, we went
filled
to
with cigar smoke?
Cam's Club for Taco Tuesday.
That should have been fun.
It was.
What kind of lounge? Like,
I mean, it was a club.
it was a club.
It was a club.
That's
It's
not a
it's
lounge,
Club
D.
31. But
People
everybody was
aren't
lounging.
dancing in a lounge.
No, they really wasn't. They just kicking it. Everybody's kicking it and stuff like that. It was Taco Tuesday, so it was early. I left here at 7.
Right.
Yeah. So it was
You wasn't
Taco
even
Tuesday.
hungry, though. We ate here.
I know I wasn't hungry. But I'm just saying it just wasn't. It's not a good thing to do.
What went wrong? You met another man while you was there.
Actually, no. Oh no, he was straight blocking, but they were coming. Men can be very disrespectful. I mean, they seen us on a date. Not to mention, I still wear my wedding ring. So wouldn't you have thought that was
You look like you was his wife.
exactly? And they didn't care. He would move there, come up to me when I walked in, and I was looking around for him and stuff like that. And this dude was like, "Hey, you looking for me?" I said, "Not this time. I'm looking for someone else."
Not if you'd have caught me on another night, perhaps.
And boy, he ran.
But I
And
brought
then the
sand to
dude,
this beach.
He's just standing there when he came to greet me.
He didn't believe you. He
When he
wanted to
came
see.
to
I'm gonna
greet
see
me.
who shows up.
Like, so really the dude just like sort of blocked him out. Like, dude, she here for me.
Wait a minute. The dude who was rolling up
Yeah.
tried to block the date.
No, the date was.
Oh
that-
well, yeah. He's like, dude,
because
what
he
you
wasn't
doing?
moving. I didn't know men was still bold like that.
Tacky ones,
Yeah.
low level ones.
Yeah, that was like not cool.
So was the lounge the climate the climate in the lounge may have been the problem, because you was dealing with some disrespectful.
Yeah.
Like,
It was a couple of guys, like he went to the bathroom. One dude was like, "Do you want to drink?" I'm like, "No, I don't drink." He was like, "You want a Shirley Temple?" Nope, too much sugar in it, because y'all know I'm on the weight loss thing. And I met my goal this month.
oh, that's good. I didn't.
5 pounds a month. That's all I'm doing. I met it.
That's what we supposed to do.
Yeah.
But I wanted a break from months that had holidays in them. And April had a lot.
Like what? Easter was
National
March
Potato
31st.
Easter.
That was March 31st.
That was a lot of food, though.
March
it
31st.
spilled over, but I was eating them leftovers on the 1st. And then my mother-in-law's birthday, that was 2 cakes. That was 2 cakes right there. She had 2 cakes. It was a lot of cakes being eaten in April. Up until yesterday, actually. Yeah.
Then you had cupcakes last night, but that was for last week, but that was for the baby.
It was cake every week.
But those cupcakes
in the
were
whole month.
good. Those cupcakes I brought in were really good.
I'm mad I couldn't
And
bring
you
some
know
more
what?
tonight.
And I went back to Price Chopper and could not find any more. It was a good reason. I didn't need them though, but they were really good.
Oh, yeah. I saw them when
You
I was in
did?
Price Chopper the other day.
It wasn't at my Price Chopper.
You talking about the caramel ones on
Yes.
18th Street?
Yes, I was up north.
Oh, okay.
It
See,
also
you need to
really
go on.
good.
You gotta get down there.
I
You
gotta
gotta
get
get
down
to
to
the
the
hood,
hood,
dude.
where it's
You
all
don't, you,
good.
you ain't too good for the hood,
You
D.
know, I stay up in
Don't
the
act like you done
suburbs.
forgot where you came from.
Right on 4th Street.
You know where you came from.
Sure do.
Shoot, they had all kind of food up in that Price Chopper.
Are they serious?
Pigtails and pig ears up
Not
in
doing
there.
Not doing none of that.
Hog mogs and chitlins.
No. No. But
Okay, D. So the date, did it go okay?
yeah, it did. He literally walked me to my car. Very much of a gentleman. Walked me to my car.
Well, he heard about the other guy.
Yeah. Well, he seen about the other guy.
Yeah.
So he was very much a gentleman. Talked to me all the way till I got home.
Well,
on the
he
phone.
knows that if he does not step up and be a gentleman, you might meet somebody while you with him. Like you met him.
I'm not married to none of them.
He ain't trying to have that.
Not married
But here's
to
the
any of
thing.
them.
He rolled up on you with your wedding ring on.
He did too, didn't he?
And the one that you was with when you met him rolled up on you with your wedding ring on. They don't. In fact, the wedding
don't
ring
care-
is
don't mean
attracting
nothing.
more.
It might be.
It's more of a challenge. It's more of a challenge. They like, oh, she got a husband? Oh, I got to have her now. Now I got to have her.
Isn't that terrible?
It's especially awful. Yeah. You pulling
So
men.
it's not like you have to take
you
your
pulling
wedding ring
men
off
with your
anymore.
wedding ring.
I'm pulling men with my wedding ring. Yeah, I went to court yesterday. I pulled the sheriff and the FedEx man.
Wow. That's a big extreme. That's a big gap between the sheriff and the FedEx guy.
man.
Which one are you going out with?
Both.
Oh, okay. Of course. Why did I? As I asked the question, I was thinking, ooh, you know how you be midway into a question and realize it's a dumb question? That was me, but I had to finish the sentence.
I have to find out what I want.
I knew you was going out with both of them. Well, okay.
But I'm having fun dates. The whole dinner and a movie, man, now that's over with. You have to do something different.
Okay.
Top golf. We're doing a lot of fun things.
Trampoline parks.
I'm not doing a trampoline park, but I will do top
You
golf.
been a broker here.
Exactly.
The DB done bounced on the trampoline and bounced off. You been bloop.
Boop, boop.
Yeah.
No, I'm not doing the trampoline park, but we did. I have went skydiving, the inside skydiving.
Oh,
thing.
yes. Wonderful. I got a
Enjoyed
date
that.
idea.
What?
The new big Ferris wheel, the huge Ferris wheel
It's not
downtown.
open yet.
Are you sure? Because it was spinning. It's
It's open now.
Oh, yeah, it's
okay,
open. D.
Cool. I know it wasn't
And
open last month.
Oh, it was lit up. I don't know if they letting people in.
I
Okay.
could have sworn I read an article that it's open.
It's open. Oh yeah.
and they
that's
have
gonna be
miniature
good.
golf on the ground. And the big. For those of you who are not in Kansas City, if you've been to Vegas, you know in Vegas they have the huge Ferris wheel. I don't know if it's
It's one in St.
it's
Louis
not as big as
also.
that. The little carriages are not as big as that, but that'd be a good date idea.
That'd be a good day too.
That and y'all could play miniature golf,
Play
and I
miniature
believe that there is at least 1 or 2 restaurants that they've opened so that people can eat. So yeah.
Oh, you know it's gonna be someone kids something to eat, most definitely.
So
But yeah, I'm enjoying the whole dating thing. I'm mad that I'm not gonna be able to share it.
well, this is what we're gonna do today. We're going to give our farewell nuggets of wisdom. Yes.
Yes.
And these are things that we're just like, hey, here's some things that we want for everyone to think about. Some of these are going to be things that we have covered on the show, and we're going to give a brief little reminder. But then other things are just things that we just thought about. But here's what I'm also wanting us to do, D, because we do still have our Facebook page, and we do still have a YouTube channel. And so as we think of other things that we want people to think about, different life lessons and things, we'll just post it on the Facebook page.
I like that.
Or you can just make a video on your phone. I upload it onto the YouTube and then put it on the page.
I like
So
that. Probably
we
never
are
happened, but I like it.
we're wrapping up the show, but we are still going to be, providing some videos on our page, because we still have things to say. So D,
Yes,
if
we
you
do.
have a real good date,
If I get
any dating
engaged,
information,
if I get engaged before the year's out,
post it.
oh, most definitely.
Uh-huh.
Well, we'll do like they
Who
do
the
on
hell you gonna
television.
get engaged to?
When the show ends and stuff, y'all come in for a 2-hour special around Christmas or at certain time. We may have a 2-hour special.
That'd be nice.
We need to come in for
I might be married by the time
specials.
Christmas comes.
Bring your husband.
Bring my husband.
D,
Yeah, because the one guy want to
who-
come on said he needs to tell his side.
We don't need to hear his side. But D, who are you thinking you gotta be married to? Do you realize that I don't think it's enough time for you to meet, fall in love, and get married before December? You try to do too much.
Okay.
If you do, you're gonna be divorced
We're
by next
almost
May.
60, so we don't have all that time for all of that. We
She's in warp speed.
don't have all that time for all that rest of that stuff.
Things move faster when you,
But you know what? I mean,
because the D is almost 60.
You will be tomorrow. You know what's really funny is I'm meeting a lot of men my age who have never been married.
You know what I want you?
Wow.
Really?
Yes. They almost 60 and have never ever been married before. And my first question then is
kinda
like,
hoes
what's
are
wrong
these?
with you?
D, what kind of
And-
holes are these?
But they come with good. They come with a good one. Like, well, I've been a hoe all my life, and
There you go.
when
What
I got
did-
married,
did I
wanted
not
to
call
do-
it what it
yeah,
was?
And they said when I got married, I wanted to do it right. So I tried to get all my whoreism out of me. So now,
And got grown kids, probably.
got grown kids, and now they they're ready to do this.
Wow.
When they get out, I'm nobody's nursemaid.
I can't imagine getting married at 60.
Oh, I'm having another big
If
old.
you
wedding.
ain't a celebrity or a millionaire, if you a millionaire, don't get married
prenup.
without a prenup.
Oh, I'm big on prenups. The
Okay.
last one had a prenup.
Okay, D, here's the first piece of, I'm going to request some specific nuggets of wisdom from the D, okay, because she is sure prepared. I know she'll have nothing. D, most of the single women I know are not meeting half as many men as you are meeting.
Really?
Oh my God.
Maybe they're not as hot as me. I don't
You
know.
meet men constantly. And so
Maybe I don't have such a what they call that? Come on, I lost my words. My face is so inviting. Like,
but what else are you doing? It's that come hither look. You've been having that look your whole damn life.
I
D.
might have.
D, what are you doing? Can you give some concrete suggestions? Professor, go on and have a seat. We're going to ask you about your kink in a minute.
Sit over there.
He's like, kink, what is that? You going to find out what it is in a
Google,
minute.
go on and Google it.
Oh, D, seriously. The professor's coming. What? Oh, Lord Jesus. The professor. Hold up.
Professor,
The
everybody.
professor was really a gym rat. Hold up.
Oh my God,
Professor.
don't even look. You look familiar.
Oh, Lord. The D has been teasing the professor since he said he was a gym rat.
He looked familiar to me now.
Professor, you really were. Professor, how long ago was this, though?
About 20 years ago.
No, I was
The professor had a six-pack, and he
What you want to do?
Mr.
Play
Walker.
football or baseball?
show the audience show the audience that the professor, because the D laughed at him.
I had two. That was
went
40.
The D laughed at the
It
professor.
had, the dates on the back had to be 46, but I
You
had
46 years old
46 or 47.
Oh,
and then,
wow.
And then,
with a six-pack.
and then I had one when I
The
was 50,
professor
52.
has cleared the air. The D better not
See, I
crack
took a picture-
another
I took a
joke.
picture
This
in
our
the mirror.
last show.
I took a picture in the mirror with my own camera. See, I took these pictures.
They must be fairly recent
This is
because
like 1960.
No, it's not.
the
In
professor.
1960, I was 46 years old. I was a baby back then.
She's still taking jabs. D, the professor's making it clear to you that when he said he was a gym rat, a gym bum, gym rat, gym bummy rat, he wasn't making it up.
See, you should say it on there. Yes,
She looking for the
I was
date.
46 or something.
She is looking. The D is like, no.
Dates on there.
She gonna
No
scrutinize
date,
these
no
bitches.
date.
No, it should be because I took them to the phone.
The professor had a
date.
six-pack.
Put your glasses on.
What's the date, D? Did you find
Oh,
it?
this is twin brother. Okay, and now came to light. This is not the professor. This is his
Professor.
twin brother.
You done brought in pictures of your twin.
Yeah.
You wrong for that.
Take your hat off. Let me see the hairline.
Professor, you wrong for that.
Oh, no hairline no more. I don't know.
They twins.
Oh, it's about the same.
No, it's
They
not.
twins.
Almost. Then.
This your twin brother.
No, that's me. That's me. That's Raytown YMCA.
There's
All
no
right,
date on
Professor.
here.
But
Professor,
that was when I was 40.
Professor, we
I
have
was
a
40,
we have a
46.
question for you later.
I got more
Okay.
pictures than that.
Okay. Okay, so let's get back to where we were at. Professor,
And then we
interrupt
have a
again.
question for the
Then
professor
we have
later.
a question for the professor
D,
later.
I need you to give some concrete advice, seriously, to our female listeners who every week on the show you have met another guy. And you met two
Yesterday.
last week.
No, I met two yesterday at the courthouse.
Okay. How are you meeting all of these men?
I don't know.
You're not helping anybody.
I think I do. Okay, so you know, I walk and I speak to
Now
everyone.
let's
I'm
talk
like,
about
"Hey,
the
how you
walk.
doing?
Let's
How
we
you
got to break
doing?"
this all the way down. How's the walk? How's the walk, D? Are we talking? Are both cheeks moving? Are we talking?
No, I just
You doing that Janet walk that she do on stage?
Nope,
where the hips
I just
touched
go
all the
on and
walls.
walk.
Look.
I just walk.
Now her hips are moving.
Nope, I just walk.
A regular walk.
But I speak to everyone. If you look at me, I speak. It doesn't matter who it is. If you look at me, I'm
Okay,
like, "Hey,
now
how you
we're getting
doing?"
somewhere.
And I'll be like, "Hey, how you doing?"
So you're
I-
making
I-
eye contact.
Yes, most definitely. I
and
do that.
speaking.
And I speak.
And then the men, what do?
I'm like, "Hey, how you doing?" I'm like, "I'm doing fine. How you doing?" And that's how a lot of times we start up a conversation.
Now, what kind of how you doing are you giving them?
I'm like, "Hey, how you doing?"
A how you doing that's not how you doing in passing, like, oh, hey, how you doing?
No, I do that.
Like you don't really want them to answer. You're saying how you doing, like sincerely.
Yes.
No, how are you doing?
How you doing?
Which if he's single, damn, this is good. We rolling. We are rolling.
Are we rolling?
If he's single, that's an opportunity for him to strike up a conversation.
Start a conversation. Because if they're looking at me, they're already looking at me. But men are they're scared of letdowns, especially with so much of the internet and all that.
Most of these men are not approaching. I know a lot of single women. They are not meeting men all the time. They're barely. They are using like dating apps.
No, I don't do that. I didn't like that.
That didn't go well when we
Didn't
tried.
go well
that.
with me. Mm-mm.
Let me tell you. Okay, we're gonna
Girl about to
we're gonna
cuss
do a
people
quick
out
reminisce on the
about
show.
to-
We
was about
tried
to
that
be
for the D.
bad.
It was awful.
It was awful.
Hold on, Gerald.
You've met more men in person though than through the dating app anyway. Yes,
did.
Professor.
So I was gonna say, well, you know, sometimes you look at a woman and you might say, I ain't saying nothing to her because you look like you're gonna call me out if
And
I
see,
even
and I
say
don't look
nothing.
mean like that. I look
yeah.
approachable.
So
Right.
I'm not saying that
The professor
men
is
are.
right.
I'm
Yeah,
not
I
saying
don't
that
have
men
any
are not let down. You know better than to say. Some of them look like you know better than to say something to me.
Yeah.
Even all you want to say is how you doing.
A lot of women, you're right. A lot of women have a look on their face that says, "Don't talk to me."
Exactly.
Leave me be.
Yeah.
And this is something about the D. She is sincerely and genuinely an outgoing, extroverted, friendly person. You're like that in general.
Yeah.
It's not to
I
meet
speak
men.
to the bum and the homeless people.
Yeah,
I might not give them no money, but I most definitely will speak to them.
right. You are genuinely that person. It's not to meet men. That's just who you are.
That's just who I am.
But your demeanor, you smiling, making eye contact, hey, how you doing, which opens up a conversation. That's more than just saying hey. Okay, ladies, you can't just be, hey, you need, hey, how you doing, and mean it, and be smiling and making eye contact and being friendly, and that will lower a man's anxieties.
The FedEx man waited for me to come back out the door.
Because you were inviting. You were friendly enough that even if a man has a little bit of social anxiety, you're exuding a level of friendliness that it's like, I think I can talk to her.
Mm-hmm.
He held up his route
He sure did.
to say, hey.
Hey, and can I get your number?
Next thing
Because
you
I'm
know-
really running late right now, but I do want your number.
Wow. So when you came out,
He was standing there.
And-
Because at the courthouse, you can only go in one door and out one door. That's it.
so he knew, oh, she's coming.
She's got to
Back
come back
this
out
way.
this door. Yeah.
And his
And I was in
opening.
there for like 30 minutes.
And what was his opening? What did he say
he was
when you
like,
came
hey.
out?
He was like, hey. I'm like, hey, how you doing? And he was like, man, can I just get your number? I'm running late from my route.
I'd be doing a lot better if I had your number
But
right
can I please
now.
get your
I'd
number?
be doing so much better.
He was like, I just moved here from Louisiana.
I don't know
and you
nobody.
I don't know nobody. I'm like, oh, you and me. I'm like, up.
I need you to show me around the city. Oh, he got good game.
Yeah, he got a good game. I was like,
Yeah.
ding, ding, ding. So you know everybody haven't had you. And he chuckled. He was like, no.
Not everybody here.
He was like, well, it just
Everybody in Louisiana
He's
had
like,
it.
something about you just gave off a good vibe. You just gave off a good vibe. And I was like, I was gonna sit here and wait. He was like, so can I please have your number? Because I'm running late for my route. I'm like, okay, cool.
Wow, this is
Yeah, that
good.
was really hot.
All
He
right.
said, can I please have your number?
The D has given the concrete guidance, feedback, a piece of wisdom. This is how it happens. You meet it's an out of the ordinary amount of men.
Mm-hmm.
And this is how.
I really meet a lot of them at Sam's Club and the gas station.
But you're friendly and inviting.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter where you are because
matter where I'm at.
you mentioned you be meeting men at the gas station.
Mm-hmm. And a couple of them I pay for my gas. And all of them will pump it because we're talking. So they be like, oh, I got it. You far too pretty to be doing this. Where your husband at?
Right, because it's
I
COVID
said,
all on the pump.
And guess
Let
what?
him get the COVID.
I know. They was like, you far where your husband at? I'm like, probably with some other woman.
Probably.
9 times out of 10.
So, Gerald, I was also going to say, can you hear me?
Yes, we
Okay.
can hear you.
So I was going to say, that also goes for women. You know, maybe they have bad experiences, too, with men. And
That's why they face is saying, get away from me.
sometimes you might give off a bad vibe. You just might not look like the person, you know, for somebody to get to know you. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, I mean, everybody has a first impression when they look at somebody. They already builds up. You already build up.
But
the,
she's
person.
immediately putting people at ease.
Yep, that's right.
And, you know, I bet this also helps with your work as a social worker.
Yeah, I don't have no
Because
problems
you
with
work
the
with the
engagement.
kids.
I
Like,
have no problem with the
you
engagement.
just immediately, because when we was at the mental health center,
My caseload was enormous.
right, and kids loved the D. They did.
And old people do too.
So this is just your
This just
personality.
me. Yeah.
Putting people at ease. Okay, so that's your first one. You got another one? Because I got one.
Nope. Let me hear what you
Okay,
have.
here's one of mine. There is good crazy and there's bad crazy. We didn't cover
This
this
is
on
true.
the show. We did not cover this on this show.
know.
That there's good crazy and there's
Then it's
bad
bad
crazy.
crazy.
Because I was saying there's a group chat with me and some friends and some frat brothers, and they wanted to add somebody to it, and I said, that fool's crazy. If you add them, I'm out, right? And so one of my frat brothers said, but you a therapist, like, you love crazy. I love good crazy. There's good crazy and there's bad crazy. The bad crazy, the person that I was saying, because we all got a little crazy in
We
us.
all do.
And that's good crazy, okay? And I love don't talk about my clients. I see the best people in this city. My clients are wonderful people. Bad crazy, the person I said I didn't want to hear from is because, one, he's misogynistic. He's a woman hater. And I don't want to, I'm tired of having conversations with
I don't
people
want that
who hate
stuff
women.
in your spirit. I
Right.
just don't want that in
To
my
me, that's
spirit.
bad crazy.
It is.
And a lot of the things, he is so anti-women in power that it was a reason. That's the reason why he voted for Trump, is because he would rather vote for a racist than vote for a black woman to even be a vice president. And so, to me, all of this that's not good crazy. That's not the kind of crazy you have fun talking to,
I don't
going
wanna
to
be
the
wild-
going
be
to the
bothered with them
bar
type of
with,
people.
right? And so, when you think about, okay, well, what is bad crazy? Bad crazy is literally the kind of crazy that it's not safe for you to even be around. In fact, bad crazy does not come to therapy. Therapy is for people who are dealing. I would go so far as to say 90% of the people who come to therapy are dealing with regular life problems that anybody experiences. The small percentage of people who have like psychotic disorders, schizoaffective, schizophrenia, okay, so that's some clinical level of mental illness. But then bad crazy, like we were talking about the paraphilias for the past 4 weeks. Pedophiles, we don't do therapy with pedophiles because you can't change a person's core attraction template. If they are core attracted to children, therapy does not work with them. There are many
Worked
types.
with them for 1 week and that was it. I couldn't deal with it.
Well, not a pedophile. Pedophiles, their therapy is not effective. Of all the different types of sex offenders, because there's different types of sex offenders, and even rapists will respond much better in therapy than a pedophile. You cannot stop a person from being attracted to children. That's bad crazy. That's bad crazy. And so, and even even when it comes to, because I had to stop seeing the domestic violence perpetrators, the ones who are homicidal, because it's like, okay, that's bad crazy. Like, you not only want to beat your wife, you want to kill her. That's bad crazy. Sociopathy is bad crazy. Psychopath, bad crazy. A lot of those, the different antisocial personality disorders, the clinical term for that, that's bad crazy that therapy does not work with. And so not everything is amenable to treatment.
Jail.
As you go through life, jail is the solution for those. Like,
Period.
the pedophiles, the goal is to literally lock them up. I had one who had molested a little girl, and then he tried to choke her to death. And when he thought she was dead,
witness.
when he thought she was dead, he walked away, and thank God she ended up not being dead. And they had referred him to see me for therapy. Oh yes. It was a little girl. And so they referred him to therapy. And nobody would say it, but the unspoken goal was, if we get a chance to lock him up, let's do so. Well, the expectation was he had to come, because I was doing sex offender treatment with him, and the expectation was he had to attend therapy, and he was on juvenile probation every single session. This is a juvenile offender. Oh yeah, like 17. And actually he had turned 18, but he was still on juvenile probation. He was having fantasies of breaking into houses, crawling into windows of little girls to rape and kill them. And so
Okay, that's bad crazy. That's enough. What's the next
that was
one?
bad crazy. Well, the way I got him off my caseload, and they violated him, because if you get kicked out of therapy, that's a
Your
violation,
violation.
and you go to
Going to
prison,
jail.
adult prison. Is he started missing therapy? You don't get to miss a single session. So he missed the session, and I said, I'm kicking him out. He's discharged. He's a liability. He's riding my license, and he's not attending therapy. They said, "Ooh, thank you," and they violated him, and he had to go to prison because he was going to climb in the windows and rape and murder. Bad crazy. And so that's
Bad
that's
crazy.
my little nugget, is that yeah, it's okay. We can laugh and joke and say, well, everybody got a little bit of crazy, and that's good crazy. Stay away from bad crazy. Learn the difference and stay away. Okay. Do you got another piece?
No,
Okay, I do.
I know you do.
I want to talk a little bit about imposter syndrome. We talked about it a little
We
bit on the
did.
show, but we talked about imposter syndrome and social anxiety. I'm just wanting to give a reminder that, because we just talked about dating, people who are struggling with imposter syndrome, which are people who have reached a level of success, but they still have such low self-esteem that they literally feel like an imposter at their job, in their lives. I don't deserve this life. How did I end up with this incredible wife? How did I end up with these incredible kids? How did I end up being able to get an education, having this wonderful job? I feel like an imposter, and it's all going to crumble. I'm going to lose everything.
Just waiting for it.
And that is rooted in low self-esteem. These are people, and it's usually my male clients, who throughout their childhood they were told, you're not going to accomplish anything. You have a disability. You're not going to be able to get an education. You're not going to be able, not going to be able, not going to be able. And so they absorb all of that. Then they have it in them to prove everybody wrong, but they still hear the voices of the people who told them that they would never amount to anything. So then now that they've amounted to something, they literally feel like an imposter. This cannot be my life. That's explaining it all. What I was saying when we were talking about dating is that when it comes to dating men, because we just got through talking about good crazy and bad crazy, right? These are diagnoses. These men make incredible partners. If they have social anxiety, because when you have been told your whole life you're less than, they end up spending their whole life trying to improve themselves to be a good person, and they end up wonderful, incredible people.
Wow.
Because they
Call
have this.
me.
Because they have this.
977-8711.
Whatever number that is, don't call it, because it's somebody else's number. But because they have this fear that everyone has been right, that they would be a loser, they work 10 times harder. Whereas people who grow up thinking they already all that, they oftentimes end up narcissistic. They're not working on self-improvement because they believe they already all that.
Everything's already.
And everything already centers around them. These are people whose parents centered the whole world around them and spoiled them, and they have a sense of entitlement and da-da-da-da. You know, it's kind of like, it's like Trump being raised by a racist and raised with money and never taught, hey, put forth the work to be a good person. And so for you people who are single, do not run away. If you cross paths with a man who has some social anxiety and some, like, his self-esteem is low, he has imposter syndrome, he can work through all that. What you gonna end up with is a wonderful partner. He ain't gonna cheat. These people, they don't cheat. Loyal to the end, which is the problem, because they often end up in relationships with unhealthy women, because predators can spot a victim. And they end up in these abusive relationships, and they're so loyal they don't leave.
They don't leave.
And they believe, like, no, I just believe that she'll get better one day. Really? You've been waiting for 15 years. When is one day? When is it going to happen? But they are loyal to a fault, and they will tolerate an endless amount of abuse instead of just going out with a good woman, meeting a good woman who's like, oh my God, I don't want to abuse you. I don't want to take advantage of you. I
I
just
just want to love you.
want to love you.
Just want to love you.
So that was that one. Let me see. I have another one. Did we cover this?
What is it?
I think we did.
Let me hear.
We have done a lot of diagnosing from the DSM. And there are people who don't. I personally love the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders. It's my friend. This is the Therapist Bible.
Therapist Bible.
Okay. And can you see it? And I love it. But some people struggle with it and they say, according to that book, everybody is crazy. And here's something I want to say in defense of the DSM is that there are diagnoses in here that make you normal. And if you don't have them, you a sociopath. Let's not forget that. Okay? All of the adjustment disorders, every single person on the planet experiences the adjustment disorders. If you have a loved one and they die,
Exactly.
and you are crying and sad, and
You're supposed to be.
not sleeping well, you're not eating well, you thinking
Yes.
about them, you're supposed to feel like that. Like the D
If you
just
don't,
said.
something's wrong with you.
That is adjustment disorder with depressed mood. It is all the symptoms of depression, but because it's triggered by a life circumstance,
Situation.
death, divorce, relocating, losing your job, all the different adjustment disorders with depressed mood, with anxiety, with disturbance of conduct, with disturbance of emotions and conduct, that happens because you're a normal person. And so if you go and see a therapist to help you get through it, the therapist is going to give you that diagnosis. It's their way of saying, hey, guess what? You're normal. There's also a lot of other diagnoses in the DSM, such as poverty.
I was blown away
involved-
when I seen that one.
Poverty is in here. Involvement with the child foster care system. And so people's criticism of that is, so wait a minute, I have a mental illness because I'm in poverty. The purpose of those diagnoses is not to say that you are mentally ill. In fact, it's not diagnosing you, it's diagnosing your situation.
Situation.
And it is giving, because a person who is struggling with poverty is most likely going to be experiencing one of the adjustment disorders. And so when the therapist gives you the diagnosis of adjustment disorder with, say, depressed mood, and then they also give the diagnosis of poverty, what they are saying is this is the explanation for them having the adjustment disorder. So it's diagnosing your situation. There's also diagnoses in here like experiencing racism, injustice. These are actual diagnoses in this book. If you have been discriminated against, you have experienced some racism, that diagnosis is just diagnosing the situation that you're going through. It is not saying that you are mentally ill for having experienced that. And so when people take, when you're in school to become a therapist, you have to take this class called Mental Health and Psychopathology. And sometimes people are like, well, all these diagnoses are pathologizing. They are basically saying that, like, to have them, you're mentally ill. No.
Situational.
Can be diagnosed. Okay. Any questions about that? Did I explain that clearly, D?
Yes, you did. That was really good.
Because I really want people to understand. Please don't be upset. And in fact, here's some of them. There's a diagnosis: failed school examinations. Because some people keep flunking their tests.
They keep flunking it.
So if you go see your school social worker, and because if you go see the D, because you keep flunking tests, in the D's notes, she may put the diagnosis of failed school examinations. Now, school social workers don't have to diagnose people, but the diagnosis helps the school social worker keep in mind when she pull your
understand.
chart, she can look at that and immediately refresh it. on what has been going on with you. Okay. The diagnosis of schooling unavailable or unattainable for people who do not have access to school, because there are parents who keep their kids out of school. Illiteracy. Disruption of family by separation or divorce.
Yes.
A kid who goes to see the D who is struggling with the parents' divorce. That is the diagnosis that the kid would have. They most likely are going to have the symptoms of an adjustment disorder, but they're also, more specifically, they're struggling with disruption of the family.
Disruption of the family.
Unemployment is a diagnosis. These are diagnoses that
This
all
is
of us
real.
had at different
Yes.
points. Change of job is a diagnosis because there can be some anxiety. So if you have adjustment disorder with anxiety because you had to switch jobs, you got to start a new job next week, you having a little bit of anxiety. The other diagnosis is change of job. Threat of job loss, stressful work schedule. Your work schedule
It's a lot,
can be a diagnosis. It's diagnosing a situation.
especially people that work at night.
Especially. And so I just wanted to cover, there's a whole list of those types of diagnoses, including imprisonment. If you doing therapy in prison, your client is going to have the diagnosis of imprisonment because they're struggling with that.
And they should.
And as they should be, because they're incarcerated. All right. So here's my next one. We didn't really talk about this much on the show. Black folks have stereotypically been adverse to attending therapy. And what I did say on the show is that I don't think that we deserve that stereotype anymore. Black folks are loving therapy.
Yes,
They're
they
coming
are.
to therapy.
They really, really are.
Black folks are loving
Boy, I had
therapy.
so many kids be like, Miss Hedges, I'm having so much anxiety today. I said, are you?
You can't get kids out of therapy. Kids love, let me tell you, a kid can be forced to come to their first session, but after that first session, you ain't going to be able to get rid of that kid.
At all.
So, and this is wonderful that we have, I hate when we the last group of people to show up for something, though. Like, come on, people, can we ever be ahead of the curve? But therapy in general has become very fashionable. Everybody's showing up for therapy, right? And this is what was really interesting. One of my clients came in and I was wrapping up my session. So I was walking out the previous client who was white. And so my client sat down, who is a mental health professional also, and was like, you got white people coming up in here to see you? And I was like,
It's all green.
is it surprising? Is it surprising that white people are willing to see a black therapist? And so what I had to say to her, I said, well, you do realize we only make up 15% of the U.S. population. Yes, I got white people up in here. In
Because
fact,
we got to get that color green.
well, 60%. Plus, I grew up, my mother was a foster parent. We had every color of people up in my house. So I'm not discriminating against anybody who needs some help. Okay, you show up green, and we're going to refer to a medical doctor to figure out why you green, but you're going to get your session up in my office. Cuz I love people. So yes, like, I got white kids. Shoot.
Yes, you do.
So me and Nadine will discriminate. Okay, when it's time to adopt a baby, we adopting the baby. But I had to explain to her. I said, actually, 60% of my caseload is
Wow.
Caucasian. So y'all see a lot.
Wait a minute. My caseload, too, at school.
At Washington High School,
Yeah, and the other schools. You have 2 schools.
ain't no white people in that school.
Yes, it is quite a bit.
Hold on. I thought all the white people left that school.
They still there.
Ain't no but blacks and Mexicans in that school.
No, it's more Hispanic than anything.
More than the black folks. Wow. And there's still some white kids at Washington High School.
And Arrowhead, yes.
And they coming to see the D. They don't care. You can be
Can
black.
you come see me, Miss Head? I said, what's my name? Miss Head.
And
No,
you
that's
can be
not my
black
name.
as tar and they coming to see the D.
Oh, they come to see me.
They do not care.
They'll tell the teacher, I need to go see Miss Head Chisholm. I'm having a bad day. I need to see her. Then they come to my office. What you doing?
Hedges. They just blended it all together. Here's what I have found. It is black folks who will demand to see a black therapist
Exactly.
more so than white folks.
Oh yeah.
White folks, they are like, do you do therapy?
And come on, I'm coming
Because the intakes I done did so far already this week, they have been referred. They like, no, your name floats around. I heard about you. And I'm sitting there like, you heard about a black therapist in white circles?
Yes, sir.
He was like, I'm here. I need some help.
Just like Ron Wilson.
You right. You right. Ain't nobody listen. And if you find a therapist who's discriminating and only seeing people of one race, I'd question
Report
the
'em.
therapist because we're helping professionals.
Exactly. Just
Like-
like a nurse, a doctor, a
Right.
dentist, all that.
And I even have white clients on my pro bono caseload. Okay. So when I'm giving out free therapy, yeah, white folks
Free.
get that too. Okay. If you need it, you got to have it. You going to get it. Here's the problem though. It's wonderful that black folks have embraced therapy. What black folks need to also embrace though is paying for it. Pay your damn deductibles and copays.
That-
Black folks,
We got to have that.
middle class black folks will come to therapy and talk about spending $1,000 on a purse while owing you $1,000 for their damn therapy. That's a problem. This doesn't look good for our people.
No, just pay your bills.
Pay your damn bill.
Pay your bills.
Okay, don't value something. We ain't got time to. We already waited for black folks to embrace therapy. We can't wait another 50 years for you to embrace paying for it.
Don't worry about it. I'm putting it on your credit.
Well, and what Nadine always says is, why are you not making people pay before the session? Everybody else does. You anywhere
Sure
else
do.
you go,
Sure
you got to pay
do.
before the session. And I've been trying to do better at that. Now, in all fairness, I am going to say, out of the $15,000 that I have in outstanding copays and deductibles, not every single last one of those are black clients. Okay, so there are some white folks who don't want to pay for their therapy too.
At the trailer park.
I didn't know how to say. I didn't know how to hold D. She gonna get a sister on the last.
Well, this
day.
our last show anyway.
Look,
We'll
look.
see you back at Christmas time.
Let me tell you. It's so much on that. Mr. Walker ain't even paying attention to what you said. He's like, let them say whatever they want to say. She can still get the whole station in trouble, Mr. Walker. You might want to pay attention. I didn't know how
The station's
to.
no good without speaking in Unspeakable.
I'm
with
actually
JP
glad
and
you
Stacy
spoke that
D
unspeakable
anyway.
because I was trying to figure out how am I going to clarify which white clients are not paying, and the D broke it all the way down. She spoke the unspeakable. Yes. So people pay for your therapy. All right. Here is one. This is really important.
And this is our last one.
Ooh, this is our last one.
I need to get home before the storm.
Oh, I don't know which one. Okay, let me go really fast. D, we have 2 minutes. I'm gonna cover all three of these. I don't have time to explain them. One, develop quality time rituals with your children and
Oh.
stick to them.
We covered that
We covered it.
very extensive.
Okay. So do that because they'll remember it for the rest of their
Yes.
lives. The next one, choose your partners like you choose your lifelong friends. If
Well,
you have friends
I have
that you have
canceled
had,
a lot of them.
you generally okay, first thing, let me say this. You cancel people, but you always forgive them and they be right back.
I will forgive them, but some of them I'm not taking back.
There's only one that you haven't taken back,
Yeah,
D.
she's not getting
Exactly.
taken back.
The D is loyal to a fault.
Yeah, I'm
she is
loyal.
ride or die for her friends. So don't misinterpret what she's trying to put out there right now. But if we did as well at choosing our partners as we do at choosing our friends, there wouldn't be a 50% divorce rate. People are not losing
Hell, half of
50%
that
of their
is
friends.
is me. I done had
all of your divorces,
all my
right?
divorces.
But you have not lost 50% of your friends. 50% of marriages end in divorce. D, you have probably weeded out 2% of your friends.
Yeah, I have.
Which means you are excellent at choosing friends. If we choose our partners like we
it has
choose
been
our
2.
friends,
At least 2 that can't come back.
right? We need to choose our partners like we choose our friends. If you are able to choose lifelong friends, you are able to choose a lifelong partner. Track the traits and characteristics of your closest friends. That's who you need to be dating. People who share those traits and characteristics. Here's the last one. I covered this in my book. Remember, I covered this in my book, that your life is a book. Your life is a book full of chapters, pages and chapters. And from birth until you become an adult, your parents hold the pen. They write the chapters. But when you become an adult, they turn that pen over to you,
So now
and
you're the
you
author.
get to be the author of the book that is your life.
That's good, JP.
Yeah, I wrote about this. See, D, you got to read this. It's in there, D.
I keep this with me.
Yeah. And so there's going to be rough pages. There may even be a rough chapter. A rough page is when you have an incident. A rough chapter is when you have a rough marriage or a rough time at a job or something like that. But you have to remember that is not your whole life. It is a page or a chapter,
Just a chapter
in the book that is your life.
In your book.
Do not succumb to suicide as if what you are currently going through is your whole life. It is not your whole life. And this goes into what we always talk about. That's when it's time for prayer. You need to pray to get through it and have faith.
Pray to get to it.
That you can get
Get
through
on your
it.
knees and scream. Help me, Jesus.
But have faith that it is not your whole
Prayer
life.
without faith doesn't mean anything.
Exactly. So don't get so caught up in a really rough chapter that you begin to feel like this is my whole life. Because I have had clients who are in an abusive marriage and they're like, this is my whole life. The only way I'm going to get out of this is to kill myself or kill him. That's not true.
Killing him don't sound bad. But
If you can get away with it.
can
Oh,
get away
wait, I
with it.
didn't say that. I didn't say that. I didn't say
you
that.
said that too. Right along with
I
it.
recant what I just said. It was a joke, people. Okay, do
Jokey
not
joke.
run out and kill somebody and blame the D and JP. Don't do
Do JP, he the one said and get away with it.
it. D, you the
D
one that
didn't
said
say
do
that.
it. You said that might not be a bad idea. Neither one of us meant what we said. Okay, don't blame us if you end up doing something crazy. But that's not true, and it doesn't have to be your whole life. Okay, you can exit that chapter. You just have to want it bad enough and be willing to do what it takes in order to exit that chapter and write a new chapter. So never lose faith, never lose hope, never lose sight of the light that is at the end of the tunnel. Your life is full of pages, it's full of chapters. Have
that
faith
was
that it'll get
good.
better.
Wow, that was a great way to end it. Well,
On
my
that
ending
note-
is I want to tell everybody thank you who supported us, our family, our friends, your wife, the baby, my children, all my boyfriends I done had doing the show.
And talked about on the show.
And I talked about you. I really appreciate it. It was all good conversation. It was all in fun. Wow.
We loved doing the show.
We do.
Okay. We covered a lot.
We enjoyed the professor.
We did enjoy the
We
professor.
also love our
shout out to Miss V.
shout out to Miss V and the babies when we had them as our what was I calling them?
Well, you was working them, but
was.
they were Miss V's mentees.
They were our assistants.
She
though.
mentors them in her
Yes.
mentoring program.
Yeah, they were our interns.
The interns, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
we enjoyed them even when she threw up and everything. But hey, it was all in fun and learning.
It was a
learning
sick intern
experience.
up in here.
We had
yes.
a sick intern. Well, most of all, we love our fans and thank you. And we will be coming back.
Yeah, we're gonna do a special.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
we'll
gonna do
have special from time to time. Maybe bring in a 2-hour, let y'all get ready for a long bit of discussion.
Oh, we easily
And I'm
fill
gonna be
the 2
married,
hours.
you guys, before the end of the year.
But we want to thank
next
JP and Stacy D. They've been a wonderful addition to KUAW Radio. They've been through thick and thin, very seldom called in missing anything. So they've been regular. You could count on them. The show was good. It was lively. And we'll be playing some replays from time to time, too. I'll pull out some good parts of them and
Dust
stick
it
them on
out.
there. Yeah, so
It's on there.
so y'all not through seeing JP and Stacy
Stacy
D.
D.
And as I say, we may bring a reunion show together at some point. So
Ooh,
stay tuned, keep listening, watching. And thank you for all the listeners and all you that called in, that text on Facebook, and all of that, as they've been saying. It's been a wonderful ride, a wonderful ride.
Wrote it.
It really has. It really has. Thank you, everyone. Thank
Yes.
you, KUAW, Mr.
Yes.
Walker, the professor.
Give me some chips.
Thank you, Professor, for distracting the D. You just tapped on her ADHD.
Well, you have ADHD too now.
I got it from you.
I know.
We didn't even know it was catchy. The DSM doesn't know that it's catchy if you hang out with somebody.
That's all right. You need to put it on up in there, JP.
She's been doing good. She ain't messed up, but
This is true. She's been doing good at ignoring you, Professor. But you have barbecue chips right now. She can't resist that.
Yes.
All right. That's our show for today.
Wow.
Thank you for joining us. And remember, worry about nothing.
And pray and have faith about everything.
Thank you, and God bless.
Bye-bye now.